Hello, my name is Lynette Wells, and I wrote my assignment on Toni Morrison's book, Beloved. What I found most interesting about the book was not only the storyline, which was very exciting, but what it actually did was it was quite successful in imparting the true trials and tribulation that came along with slavery. Many people look at it like it was there, it was bad, it happened, it was over. But so much of what happened during slavery is so hard to communicate, and Toni Morrison did such a good job with that. I attribute that difficulty in communication to things being lost in translation. We all know that language is a part of culture. It is symbolic of what is represented by the speaker. So language is a group of symbols. And that's what I want to focus on. I looked at the story through the filter of how mostly language was used. A good example for what I'm saying is the term love. I'll use that as an example. I was always told love was a misunderstanding between two fools. And I finally understand what that means. One person can think love means coming home drunk and beating your wife because that's what they saw. And another person can come to terms with love meaning something very different. So if these two people meet later and they both say, I love you, and the person says, well, I love you too, they both are referring to two very different experiences, but they're using the same word. And it can really lead to misunderstandings. It's that type of language interpretation that I think Toni Morrison uses to the benefit of this book and manipulates throughout the book. An example of that is when you look at the name of the plantation, Sweet Home. Well, who determined what that word would mean? Who did the Sweet Home? You're a slave. So this is a word that was made by the master. The terms were defined by the master, and it was taught to the slave that, yes, this is Sweet Home, it's the name of your plantation, and you got it good here. But that was not the experience. And so she looked into language and how language was a lie to the slave. Symbols were misrepresented. And that doesn't negate the underlying feeling that is there. Another example of that is gravity. You can say you don't believe in gravity. You can negate that gravity exists. But if you walk up to the top floor of a high building and you jump, your beliefs mean absolutely nothing, as what is the truth, that there is gravity, will take hold. And the same thing happens with this book. Just because you negate that a man is really a man, or you negate that someone has a God-given right to be free, doesn't mean that all of the emotion attached to the slavery is not there. And when Toni Morrison tells this story, she does it using words from a slave's point of view, which also tell on the betraying effect that the lies meant when the words were taught to the slave. So I hope I've explained a little more about what I meant through language. I'm sure my paper sheds more light on the subject matter. And thanks for listening to my chatter. All right.